And there was a guy, I don't know if you know a guy called Cleve Baxter. And he was a hypnotist that then ended up working for the FBI in the 60s. And the Cleve Baxter World Center for Lie Detector Machines in San Diego was named after him.
Okay.
And in 66, I think it was, he wired his lie detector polygraph machine up to a plant. And when he walked in the room, there was a little bit of a spike. There was a movement, there was energy in there. And he said it was weird, as if, he wrote this as if the plant sensed some other living thing coming into the room.
Okay.
So then he tried to hit the leaf and dipped in hot water, nothing. And he was the other end of his lab and he thought about burning the leaf.
Okay.
And the thought about burning the leaf spiked. So he wrote about this and then he started wiring it up to all sorts of other things, foods, and he wired it up. He got the saliva of an astronaut who's probably dead now because this was 20, 30 years ago. Put his saliva, they synchronized watches, and he flew to Cleveland from where they were and to see his son. And he got 2 spikes. He thought that the saliva was good active for maybe 10 hours. He got 2 spikes. And then when they synchronized watches, it was both one when he nearly missed his plane, and secondly, his son he was okay, but heard he had an accident.
Okay.
So his saliva, that's quantum, his saliva was communicating. And what happens is you only have to look into a pump in underwater in a swimming pool. Zoom in, slow it down, water comes up, it splits. When a water droplet, if you see a slow motion water droplet, it bounces, bends around it. It's like space-time, you can see the bend of time around a drop of water. It splits. And that goes down, then that's going to the water and that will be carried away. Mm. And it happens again continue on a smaller level, but then everything's connected.
Right.
So he then did this test in Faraday cages, and he found that when you gave, and it's not words more, it's intent. So if you give gratitude, so you think about like the raisin, coming back to the raisin thing again, you give gratitude to what you're eating, and somebody's devoted their time to produce this, the food, it's a living thing, seems to accept, it's achieved something in its life. Now that's a human interpretation of what it is. Yeah. But the connection works. And they did this, they said the program I saw, Ghost Mythbusters, tried to show that it didn't work. But what this point of this was that also, if the intent to believe something, if the intent is strong enough, so all scientific research is always intent to disprove. But you need the intent to disprove and the intent to prove at the same time. Coming back to quantum, 2 different. You need both. If you just give it the intent to disprove, well, then what about the other side?
Okay, interesting. Because it affects the observation.
It affects the observation, and